Hello guys! Welcome back sa another accounting tutorial. This time, capital budgeting naman, no? Suking-suki sa board exam ang capital budgeting. Kaya dapat, undergrad ka pa lang, or even review, pinagbubutihan mo na to. No? So, wag kang mag-alala, no? Sasamahan naman kita. Tutulungan kita, then iga-guide kita along the way. So, hatiin ko na lang siya sa tatlong parts. May part 1, part 2, and part 3 para magamay mo talaga bawat part. Okay? Kung ready ka na, ready na rin ako, no? So, first, syempre, define muna natin ano ang capital budgeting. Ito yung long-term planning process na kinagamit ng mga companies to evaluate, select, and finance investments. Long-term. Parang mga bagong projects, equipment, expansion that will impact financial results over several years. No? Sa definition pa lang, masasabi mo pa lang na pang long term talaga ang capital budgeting. And dahil mag-i-impact yan sa company for over several years. For example, condo. For example, magtatayo ang SM ng panibago nilang condominium. O long term yun. Dapat ma-evaluate nila, ma-select, and ma-finance yung condominium na yun. Because it will impact their financial results over several years. Sobrang tagal na nakatayo ng building nila. Diba? Kung malulugi ng 10 taon, lugi din sila ng 10 taon. Oh, doon papasok yung kahalagahan ng capital budgeting. No? It focuses on decisions such as whether to invest sa bagong factory, launch a product line, or acquire another business long term. No? So, parang nasabi ko na lang din ito yung characteristics ng capital investment decisions, pero isa-isahin natin. Number 1, yung capital investment decisions daw often demand large amount of resources. Oo naman. Pag magtatayo ka ng condominium, hindi naman yun tingi-tingi na 500k, hindi po ganun, no? Demanding ang capital investment decisions. Large, significant amount of money, of resources ang kailangan mo. Another one is capital investments usually require long-term commitment. So, magtatayo ka ng kondo, hindi lang yan isang buwan. Hindi lang yan 6 na buwan. Diba? Long-term, pangmatagalan. 10 taon, isang dekada, 2 dekada. Alright? Capital investments are harder to reverse than short-term decisions. Correct. Pag nagtayo ka ng kondo, hindi mo naman pwedeng bawiin yun. Hindi mo naman pwedeng i-demolish ka agad porket wala pa munang nakatira. Harder to reverse because madami ka nang naipundar. Di ba? Sobrang dami mo nang nagastos, hindi mo naman pwedeng bawiin. Di ba? Then short-term decisions. Ano ba mga short-term decisions yan? Yung parang part ito ng relevant costing. Yung meron tayong make or buy. Make or buy a product. Ano yun, sir? Yung product, may choice ka. It's either gagawin mo na lang siya sa company mo, in-source, or i-outsource mo. Bibili ka na lang sa labas, sa other suppliers. Short-term decisions lang yon. Whether and accept or reject yung 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 may nagtitinda sa'yo, you either accept it or reject it. Pwede rin continue or discontinue ay product line. Short-term decisions lang yun. Pero, capital investment, long-term. And they are harder to reverse. And lastly, capital investment decisions involve so much risk and uncertainty. Oo naman. Risky and uncertain po kapag long-term. Hindi ka sigurado. Hindi mo alam. Long game yan. No? Alright. Now, i-outline ko lang yung mga topics na i-discuss natin. First is yung capital investment factors. Nandiyan yung net investment, net returns, and cost of capital. Now, meron tayong methods for evaluating capital investments. Merong methods, yung first method mo is yung hindi ko ni-consider yung time value of money. Ibig sabihin, walang present value to. No? Ano yan? Payback period, bailout period, and accounting rate of return. And lastly, yung may mga methods tayo naman na kung i-consider yung time value of money. Discounted cash flow methods ang tawag sa kanila. Ano yung mga yon? Net present value index, present value payback, and internal rate of return. Sir, bakit mo to present? dito ko kasi hahati-hatiin yung capital budgeting. Ito yung first part natin. Net investment and net returns, nasa part 1 yan. Part 1. Now, sa part 2, payback period, bailout period, and accounting rate of return, no, nasa part 2 yan. And lastly, yung part 3 natin, yung may time value of money. Alright? Itong cost of capital, hiwalay na discussion yan. No? Wala yan sa part ng capital budgeting. Though ginagamit talaga yun sa capital budgeting. Pero ihiwalay ko na lang para mas makabisado mo. Separate topic yan. Separate chapter ko na lang ito. Alright? So, basta maalala mo, 3 parts yan. May part 1, may part 2, may part 3. Para alam mo na yung outline. Para hindi ka ma-overwhelm. Para ka lang nanonood ng episode sa Netflix. May season 1, may season 2, may season 3, di ba? Pero this time, no, accounting naman. Accounting lecture naman yung by season. So, simulan natin sa part 1, net investment or net cost of investment. In capital budgeting, the net cost of investment, or also called net investment, is yung total initial cash outflow required to acquire and implement a project less any incidental cash inflows or savings. Ano raw, sir? Ang sinasabi niya lang dyan, yung cash outflow mo nung una, ibabawas mo dun sa cash inflows or savings. Kaya nga siya net. Kaya nga net cost of investment. Kasi yung cash outflow, ibabawas mo sa cash inflows. Kaya net. Diba? Isa-isahin natin. Sir, ano ba yung composition ng cost or cash outflows? No? Initial cash outlay for all project costs until it is ready to operate. Yan yung first component ng cash outflows. Pero hindi naman ito by number. No? Sinasabi ko lang kung ano yung pwedeng maging composition ng cash outflows. Siyempre, kailangan mo munang bumili. For example, bibili ka ng bagong equipment. Siyempre, bibili ka, may cash outlay ka talaga. Anong component yan? Purchase price ng asset. And dapat naka-net. Less discount, whether taken or not. Alright? And also, yung incidental project-related costs, kailangan mo ng freight. Diba? I-deliver sa'yo yung equipment, yung machine, insurance taxes, handling, installation, test runs, etc. Parang inventory lang sa financial accounting and reporting. No? But this time, nasa capital budgeting. Alright? Additional working capital to operate the project at the desired level. Cash outflow din yun. Siyempre, naglampas ka na rin ng resources, kailangan mo ng additional working capital, additional inventory, di ba? Para ma-operate mo yung project sa gusto mong level. And lastly, market value of an idle asset to be used in the proposed project. No? Pero ang lagi kong namimit talaga dito is yung 1 and 2. Yung initial cash outlay, tapos yung additional working capital. Sa mga problems na lagi kong nasosolve, yung 1 and 2 yung pinaka-favorite nila sa cash outflow. Okay? Tandaan mo, nandiyan yung purchase price, outflow yan, bumili ka, andyan din yung mga freight, insurance, handling. Alright? Kung may cash outflow, may cash inflows. Or ang ibang tawag dyan, savings. Syempre, bibili ka ng bagong equipment, may old equipment ka. Hindi, syempre yung old equipment, kung hindi mo na lang din naman gagamitin, ibenta mo na lang. Diba? So, yung may proceeds ka from sale of an old asset, inflow mo yon, savings mo yon. Pero, ipla-plus mo dyan yung tax savings from loss. No? For example, ang selling price mo, 100K. Pero ang carrying amount ng dati mong asset, 120K. Lugi ka ng 20K. No? Pero sir, bakit ko i-add yung tax savings ko from loss? No, ang loss mo 20K. I-multiply mo yan sa tax rate, let's say 25%. No? 20K times 25%, how much is that? 5K. No? Ilan yung proceeds mo? 100K. Kaya ang total cash inflows mo, 100K na proceeds plus tax savings mo na 5K. Bakit sir na plus yung 5K na tax savings? Remember, inflow yan. Ang term dyan or other term is savings. Kapag nadagdagan yung expense mo, or in this case, nagka-loss ka, nadagdagan yung loss mo, nadagdagan yung expense, di ba? Mababawasan yung income. And kapag nabawasan yung income, mababawasan yung income tax. Mababawasan yung income tax mo, mababawasan yung babayaran mong income tax. O may savings ka. O, somehow may savings ka, may inflows ka. O, bawas yung income tax mo. O, idagdag mo yun. Additional yun, tax savings from loss. Pero hindi yung total loss ang i-plus mo. Dapat tax from the loss or tax savings from loss. Paano naman sir kung gain ako? 'Di ba? Ang selling price ko 100k. Let's say 100k yung selling price ko. Pero ang carrying amount ng dati kong asset na ibebenta ko na kasi bibili ako ng bagong asset, 80k. E di may gain akong 20k. So in this case, tataas income mo. Increase in income. Increase in income tax. Madadagdagan yung income tax na babayaran mo. Oh, dahil nadagdagan yung gain mo, nadagdagan yung income mo, oh, hindi mo na savings yun. Wala kang savings dyan. Lugi ka nga. Mas nalugi ka. Kaya binabawas mo yung tax consequences from gain. Alright? No? So, okay. Another one is trade-in value. Sir, paano kung hindi mo ibebenta yung old asset mo? Paano kung i-trade mo na lang? I-exchange mo na lang sa similar asset. So, yun, inflow mo din yun. Pero, walang tax effect. No? Mamaya hihimayin naman natin to sa mga problems. No? So, relax lang, relax lang. Nasa ano pa lang tayo? Nasa first part ka pa lang. Avoidable cost of immediate repairs on old asset to be replaced. Di ba meron kang ang old asset? Tapos, siguro yung old asset mo matanda na kaya kailangan ng repairs. Kailangan i-repair. New asset. Pag bumili ka ng new asset, syempre new asset yan, walang repair. Hindi niya kailangan ng repair. Diba? Walang repairs yan. Pag bibili ka ng new asset, maa-avoid mo yung repair. Kaya siya avoidable cost of immediate repairs on old asset to be replaced. And this time, dapat naka-net of tax. No? In essence kasi parang may gain ka eh, na imbis na may incidental gain ka na dahil nga bumili ka ng bagong asset, wala kang in-incur na cost. Wala kang in-incur na repair cost. Whereas kapag hindi mo binili yan or nag-stay ka pa rin sa old asset mo, may cost ka, may repair cost ka. Because of that, may avoidable cost ka. Alright? And this time, net of tax siya. And lastly, decrease or recoupment of working capital. And this time, ignore tax effect na naman. No? Mamaya, no? Nasa theory, nasa practice naman natin kung bakit natin i-ignore yung tax effect ng working capital. No? Basta pag nag-decrease, may recoupment of working capital, ignore mo lang yung tax effect. No? Full amount ang ilalagay mo, wag mong ini-net of tax. Alright? So, i-test natin no yung kapag binawas mo yung cash inflow sa cash outflow, yun na yun, net cost of investment. I-try nga natin dito sa exercise number 1. A company intends to buy equipment costing 700,000. Pre and installation costs amount to 50,000. Acquiring this equipment will reduce working capital needs by 60,000. The new equipment will be purchased to replace an old unit that was acquired 5 years ago at a cost of 300k, for which an annual depreciation expense of 50,000 has been recorded. This old unit will be sold for 90,000. And lastly, if the new equipment is not purchased, extensive repairs on the old equipment will have to be made at an estimated cost of 80,000. This repairs expense can be avoided by purchasing the equipment. The company's income tax rate is 25%. Now, compute the amount of net investment for decision-making purposes. Di ba? Very straightforward ng problem natin. No? Sige, simulan natin sa first bullet. Yung first paragraph. Mag-layout ka, cash outflow, may cash inflow ka kasi kinukuha nga natin yung net cost of investment. O pag bibili ka may purchase price ka, costing 700K. May purchase price ka, cash outflow yan. O, meron ka ding freight, may installation cost pa, 50K. O, cash outflow din yun. Diba? This time, sabi niya, mababawasan daw yung working capital. Reduction of working capital by 60K. O, cash inflow yun. No? Kaya nga, napakahalaga nung nilayout kong summary kanina, kung anong composition ng cash outflow tsaka cash inflow. Kasi basta alam mo yun, hindi ka mawawala sa net cost of investment. Basta alam mo kung ano yung cash outflow sa cash inflow, hindi ka mawawala. Alright? So, yan yung first paragraph natin. O, paano sir kung nag-increase sa working capital? Diba? Remember, pag increase sa working capital, sa cash outflow mo yun ilalagay. O, baka bumili ka ng bagong inventory. O kaya nag-increase yung working capital mo. May binayaran kang current liability. Kasi ang composition ng working capital, current asset minus current liabilities. Kung nag-increase ang current asset mo, magi-increase din ang ang working capital mo. Pag nag-decrease ang current liability, magi-increase ulit ang working capital. Okay, so it's either nag-acquire ka ng bagong current asset or may binayaran kang current liability. Kaya nag-increase yung working capital mo. In this case, wala namang nangyari. Kaya wala kang cash outflow for increase in working capital. No? Nilagay ko lang yan para mapag-compare nyo. Paano sir pag nag-decrease? Paano pag nag-increase? Okay? So, next. Diba? So, kanina, natapos na natin yan. Ang sabi pa dito, binenta mo daw yung old unit for 90K. O, may proceeds ka from sale. 90K. And remember, meron kang cost na binigay, 300K, yung old unit mo. Tapos, depreciated siya annually for 50K. So, 50K times 5 years. Kasi it was acquired 5 years ago eh. O, 300K minus 250K, ang carrying amount mo na lang, 50K. Sir, bakit mo yan kinuha? Bakit relevant na makuha natin yung carrying amount? Kasi i-compute natin yung gain or loss. O, binenta mo 90K. Ilan yung carrying amount? 50K. O, may gain ka. Pero hindi yan yung ibabawas mo. Hindi yan yung consequences or tax consequences. Kasi imumultiply mo pa yan sa 25% to get the tax consequences from gain of 10,000. And remember, kapag tax consequences from gain, binabawas mo yan. Kasi mas nadagdagan yung income tax na binayaran mo o mas nabawasan yung savings mo. O, di ba? Paano sir kung loss? O, di kapag loss, o tax savings from loss. Idadagdag mo lang sa proceeds. But this time kasi, tax consequences from gain, bawas. Alright. Oh, lastly, yung last paragraph natin, if yung bagong equipment daw, nag-purchase, yung extensive repairs, maa-avoid, costing 80K. Oh, yan yung avoidable repair cost. Net of tax, nasabi ko nga, net of tax dapat, 80K. Kasi, syempre, pag bumili ka ng bagong unit, hindi ka na mag-i-incur ng cost eh. So, in some ways, nagka-gain ka. Diba? Kasi nawala yung cost mo, na-avoid mo. O, net of tax. Kaya 80K multiply by 100% minus 25%, that's 75%. Para maging net of tax. Okay? So, 80K multiply by 75%, that's 60K. O, di kumpleto ka na. Pwede mo nang i-total. Ang total cash outflow mo, 750K. Total cash inflow, 200K. Kaya ang net cost of investment mo, 750 minus 200, 550K. No? Ganun lang kasimple. Basta alam mo lang yung composition ng table mo, hindi ka mawawala. No? Hindi ka mawawala sa net cost of investment. Alright. What if trinid mo? What if hindi mo binenta, nakipag-trade ka na lang? Yung old unit mo, let's say, hindi mo binenta yung old unit mo. Trinade mo na lang sa bagong asset. Assume that instead of selling the old unit to be replaced, the same is traded in for 70K. Hindi mo na binenta yung old unit na i-replace mo. Trinade mo na lang for 70K. O, ano daw yung net investment for decision-making purposes? O, same. Same lang din. Pero magbabago yung trade-in value na walang tax effect. No? Ang naisip ko kasi kung bakit wala siyang tax effect yung trade-in value. Siyempre, kung iti-trade mo lang din naman yung old sa unit mo, siyempre kung second hand yan, matri-trade mo lang din yan sa second hand. No? Old to old. Di ba? Kung i-trade mo siya, imbes na ibenta, makikipag-exchange ka ng similar asset, kung old unit yung i-trade mo, syempre, ang matatanggap mo din, old unit. Sinong gusto makipag-exchange na malulugi siya, di ba? Di ba? So, kung old yung sa'yo, old din yung pwede mong ma-trade for that. Kasi you have similar substance. Kaya in effect, wala kang gain or wala ka din kung nag-trade ka. Whereas, kapag binenta mo, syempre gusto mo pag binibenta mo, lagi kang may gain, di ba? Or pwede rin magkaroon ka ng loss kung generous naman yung seller. Pero pag trade, wala tayong tax effect. Alright? So, 70K, isaksak mo lahat dyan. No, I'm sorry for the term. Ilapag mo lahat dyan, 70K. Ganun ulit. I-total mo ulit, cash outflow, cash inflow, 190K naman ngayon. Kaya ang net cost of investment, 560K kapag trade value ka. Alright? Ngayon, net return naman. Net return or ibang tawag dyan, net income, profit. No? It refers to the actual benefit or profit a project generates after accounting for all costs, cash outflows, and taxes. Kaya nga net, nabawas mo na lahat ng costs, expenses, and taxes. Net return is the difference between cash inflows, revenue, savings, or benefits, and the cash outflows, initial investment, operating costs, taxes, etc. over the projects. Alright? From the word itself, net income yan. Pero, magiging relevant kasi ang net income or ang net return sa computation ng annual net cash inflows. No? May dalawang method tayo. Mag-method 1 tayo. Sales. Ibawas mo yung expenses. But this time, hindi kasama dyan yung depreciation. Lahat lang ng expenses mo. Variable, fixed expenses, diba? Selling, general administrative, excluding yung depreciation. Kasi ang depreciation, non-cash. Gusto mong makuha yung cash inflows mo, net cash inflows. Kaya magiging relevant yung depreciation dyan kasi we're computing cash inflows. Alam natin ang depreciation, non-cash expense. Walang lumabas na pera sa company. Nag-record lang sila ng expense. So, sales minus expenses, cash flows before tax ang tawag dyan. No? Cash flows before tax. Ibawas mo ngayon yung depreciation expense, you will get profit before tax. No? Or, sige, so pwede ring earnings before interest and taxes. But siguro sa computation nito, sa net cash inflows natin, profit before tax yung term ko dyan. Ibawas mo ngayon yung income tax, then you will get net income. I-add back mo ngayon yung depreciation kasi nga sa net income natin, nabawas mo dyan yung depreciation expense. Na alam natin ang depreciation expense non-cash. And we're computing cash inflows lang. So kaya nga mong i-add back yung depreciation to get the annual net cash inflows. Alright? So method 2 naman, alternatively, pwede mo na lang kunin yung cash flows before tax. I-after tax mo siya. Yung cash flows before tax, i-after tax mo. Or other term dyan, after tax operating cash inflows or savings after tax. So cash flows before tax, multiply mo sa 100% net of tax rate. So after tax, cash flows yung tawag dyan. I-add back mo ngayon yung tax savings sa depreciation expense. Di ba? May depreciation ka kanina. Pero i-add back mo ngayon yung tax savings mo dyan. Ang i-add back mo, tax savings ha, hindi yung depreciation expense talaga, yung savings mo. Tax rate multiplied by depreciation expense, you will get also the same amount of annual net cash inflows. No? Sige, para mas maintindihan natin, exercise 2 nga. O, di ba? LCR company which operates a school canteen is planning to buy a donut making machine for 450K. The machine is expected to produce 45,000 units of donuts per year, which can be sold for 10 pesos each. Variable cost to produce and sell the donut is 4 pesos per unit. Incremental fixed cost, exclusive of depreciation, is estimated at 68,000 a year. The machine will be depreciated using a straight line method over a 6-year life with no salvage value. The prevailing income tax rate is 25%. Now, determine the annual net cash inflows and net returns for the proposed investment project. Alright? So, method 1 muna, yung alam natin na may pagka-income statement to yung method 1 natin. O, alam natin na yung machine is expected to produce 45,000 units, selling price niya 10 pesos each. E di may sales ka na. 45,000 units multiplied by 10, 450K na sales. Tapos may variable cost ka. 4 pesos per unit daw yung variable cost mo. So 45,000 units multiplied by 4 na per unit na variable cost, 180K. Tapos may fixed cost ka na naman. O buti na lang, exclusive of depreciation yan. Kasi ang ibabawas mo sa sales, di ba, lahat ng expenses other than depreciation. No? So dapat exclusive of depreciation talaga yan. 68K. To get cash flows before tax. Oh, remember, sa cash flows before tax, ibabawas mo na dyan yung depreciation. Magkano yung depreciation? 450K divided by 6 years. Ilan ba yung cost nung donut making machine? 450K. Ilan yung useful life niya? 6. So 450K divided by 6, 75K. O, meron ka ng profit before tax, tapos net of tax mo yan. Less income tax of 25%, you will get net income of 95,250. Add back mo na naman ngayon yung depreciation. Add back mo yung depreciation sa net income. You will get annual net cash inflows of 170,250. No? Sobrang dali lang, sobrang straightforward. Oh, nakita natin yung method 1 kanina, di ba? Paano sir kung method 2 gusto mo? Siguro gusto mo ng challenge, gusto mong mas maging straightforward. Alternatively, you can use yung method 2. Saan ka titingin kapag method 2? Cash flows before tax, tapos depreciation. No? No, you will get first yung after-tax operating cash inflows or savings after tax, wherein imumultiply mo yung cash flows before tax by 100% less tax rate. So, 202,000 times 75%. Ilan ba yung income tax natin? Diba? 100% minus 25%, that's 75%. So, after tax. No? So, 151,500 yung after tax no cash flows natin. I-add back mo ngayon yung tax savings doon sa depreciation expense. Diba? Paano mo makukuha, sir, yung tax savings doon sa depreciation expense? E di multiply mo yung 75K sa 25% na tax rate. Oh, ang makukuha mo dyan, 18,750. Kapag pinag-plus mo silang dalawa, pag-plus natin silang dalawa, ganun lang din. Yung annual net cash inflows mo, the same with 170, 250. No? Diskarte mo na lang yan kung ano yung gusto mong method, kung saan ka gamay, kung ano yung kabisado mo. Pero may mga instances na mas mapapadali ka talaga sa method 2. Alright? No, may mga problem kasi na hindi lahat ibibigay yung sales eh. Hindi lahat ibibigay yung variable cost. Oh. Pero baka ibigay nila yung savings, ibigay nila yung cash inflows before tax. Oh, doon, 'di ba? In this way, mas magiging convenient sa iyo yung method. Alright? O, tignan natin sa another exercise na to. The company is evaluating the replacement of its outdated equipment with a modern, more efficient model. The proposed new equipment requires an investment of 1.5 million and is expected to reduce annual cash operating costs by 400K. It has an estimated useful life of 6 years with no anticipated salvage value at the end of its service. All capital projects are required to earn at least the firm's cost of capital, which is 20%. Sir, bakit may bago? May cost of capital na ngayon. No? Remember, sa pag-compute ng annual net cash inflows or net returns, ignore mo lang yung cost of capital. No? Wala pa tayo sa topic ng cost of capital. No? Nasa mga succeeding parts pa yan ng capital budgeting. Alright? Basta ang relevant pa lang sa'yo this time sa computation ng annual net cash inflows and net cost of investment is yung tax rate na 25%. So, hindi muna natin papansinin yung cost of capital. Alright? No, so, simulan natin. Ang sabi kasi, pansin mo sa problem na to, walang binigay na sales, walang binigay na expenses, variable cost, fixed cost. Pero may sinabi na marireduce daw yung annual cash operating cost mo ng 400K. Na in this way, yun yung cash flows before tax mo. In this way, you will treat savings as income. Yung reduction mo sa annual cash operating cost, yun yung savings mo. No? Yun yung savings. Dahil sa bagong equipment na to. O treat it as your income na cash flows before tax. O ibawas mo ngayon yung depreciation. Sir, paano mo nakuha yung depreciation? Magkano ba yung cost niya? 1.5. Magkano ba yung useful life? 6 years. O 250K. Ibawas mo ngayon yung tax na 25% ng 150K to get the net income. Then, i-add back mo ngayon yung depreciation na 250K, you will get the annual net cash inflows na 362,500. Yan yung method 1 kanina. Pero sa method 2, di ba, meron tayong after-tax operating cash inflows or savings after tax. No? Yung reduction mo sa annual cash operating cost, yun yung savings mo. Yun yung savings. And this time, kailangan mong i-after tax. So, 400K multiplied by 75%, you will get 300K. And you will also add back yung tax savings mo sa depreciation expense. Na 1.5 divided by 6 years, that's 250K. I-multiply mo sa tax rate na 25%, you will get 62,500. You will also get the same amount of annual net cash inflows of 362,500. Huh? So, pumili ka na lang kung ano yung gusto mong approach. No, kung saan ka mas mapapadali. Alright? So, last exercise natin. Yes. The company employs a labor-intensive manufacturing process. Its current equipment carries a book value of 200K, mayroong remaining useful life na 10 years, and generates annual cash operating costs amounting to 300K. The proposed process requires machinery costing 700,000. May pinopropose silang bagong equipment. Di ba? Bagong machinery na nagkakahalagang 700,000 with useful life of 5 years and no salvage value. The new machinery which will replace the old one requires 210 in annual cash operating costs. Eh yung dating equipment 300K yung operating cost niya. Pero yung bago 200K na lang. The tax rate is 25% and the cost of capital is 15%. Again, ignore mo muna yan. Alright? Anong requirement? What is the annual net cash inflow from the new equipment? Panibagong approach lang ito. Panibagong problem lang for me, no? Bago sa mata. Ganun. O, tignan natin. Pero wala namang pinagkaiba dun sa inyo. O, pansinin natin, nabanggit ko kanina na yung cash operating cost ng dating equipment mo, 300K. Eh yung bago mong equipment, 210 na lang yung annual operating cost nito. May difference, di ba? Yun yung savings. Oh, yun yung savings na kailangan nating i-after tax. Di ba? Oh, tignan naman natin yung depreciation. I-compare natin yung depreciation ng iba. Yung existing equipment kasi 20K na lang. 200K na book value, i-divide mo sa 10 years, that's 20,000. Pero yung bagong equipment, 140K. 700K yung cost, useful life niya 5 years. And no salvage value. Kaya 700K divided by 5, that's 140K. May savings ka nga sa cash operating cost, pero nadagdagan yung depreciation mo. Meron kang incremental or additional depreciation na 120K. Now, kakailanganin mo yung dalawang yan para makompute yung annual net cash inflow. Di ba sa method 2 natin kanina, ganyan yung approach? Di ba? Meron kang savings, tapos meron kang additional tax savings due to incremental depreciation expense. O may savings ka sa cash operating cost, 90K multiplied by 75% after tax. No? Tapos may tax savings ka dahil nga nadagdagan yung depreciation expense mo. O di ba? Pag gustong-gusto natin nadadagdagan yung depreciation expense natin kasi mas lumolobo yung expense, mas bumababa yung income, mas bababa yung income tax na babayaran mo. Alright? So may tax savings ka. Tax shield yung ibang tawag. Alright? So ilan yan? 120K times 25% kasi savings from tax. So ilan yan? 30,000. Kaya ang annual net cash inflows mo, 67,500 at 30K, 97,500. No? Pansin nyo sa problem na to, sa first part natin. Paulit-ulit yung approach, no? Paulit-ulit siya. Ang trick lang dyan sa mga problem, maraming pampalito sa problem. Kahit hindi relevant, isasama yan. Di ba? Parang yung cost of capital. Mag-stick ka lang sa dun sa basic concept na sinimulan mo. Kasi baka kasi sa board exam, baka ang daming sabihin hindi naman relevant. Pwedeng mangyari yun. Kasi kung ano-ano sabihin nila dyan, di ba? Ang kailangan mo lang pala savings. Tapos yung tax savings sa incremental depreciation expense. Oh. So you need to be aware, to be careful, no? Kaya mo yan, kayang-kaya yan. Oh, now, i-test naman natin yung knowledge mo sa theory question. Ang tanong, the long-term planning process for making and financing investments that affects a company's financial results over a number of years is referred to as, syempre, diba? Saan ka pa ba? Capital budgeting. Kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan yan. Long-term financing investments. O, isa-isahin natin. Bakit mali yung strategic budgeting? More about aligning budgets kasi yan with overall corporate strategy, no? So, hindi yan specifically sa investment valuation. O, yung master budgeting naman, short-term financial plan yan. And it consolidates all functional budgets by sale budget, production, and cash budget. No? Long-term planning naman, long-range planning, it is broader than capital budgeting. No? Involves setting goals and strategies for the company over many years. Pero hindi sila specifically about evaluating investment project. So, ang big factor talaga dyan is yung investment valuation. Investment evaluation na capital budgeting lang yung nakakagawa. Di ba? Oh, so another question. The following items are included in the computation of the net cost of investment except initial cash outlay. Siyempre, kasama yan. Di ba? Yung purchase price, yung fleet, working capital requirement to operate the capital investment project, kasama. Di ba? Avoidable cost of immediate repairs on old asset to be replaced. Net of tax, correct. Di ba? Kasama yan. Pero yung book value ng asset to be replaced, hindi mo na yan pinapansin. No? Ini-ignore mo na lang yan. Irrelevant na yan. No? Hindi yan kasama sa computation ng net cost of investment. Yung book value. Book value ng old asset to be replaced. Alright? Oh, another question. A major difference between an investment in working capital and one in depreciable assets is that, no, isa-isahin natin. An investment in working capital is never returned. No? Sa first, umpisa pa lang mali na. No? Umpisa pa lang mali na siya. Pwedeng, ang investment kasi ang working capital, pwedeng may recoupment, merong decrease, pwedeng mabawi. Di ba? So, mali na yan. Oo naman, tama yung most depreciable assets have some residual value at the end of the project. Pwede naman. No? Pero, yung investment sa working capital, pwede nating mabawi. Pwedeng may decrease, pwedeng may recoupment. Oh, an investment in working capital is returned in full at the end of a project's life. Pwede, but not necessarily at full amount. While an investment in depreciable assets has no residual value, no? Hindi. Pwede naman magkaroon ng residual value yung depreciable assets. Pwede din naman siya magkaroon ng gamit. Di ba? An investment in working capital is not tax deductible when made, nor taxable when returned. Correct. Di ba? Sabi nga natin yung working capital kanina, walang effect dyan ng tax. No? While an investment in depreciable assets does allow tax deductions. Correct. Di ba? Kasi nga, yung parang depreciation expense natin kanina, may tax savings tayo, may tax deductions tayo. So, ang sagot, letter, again, bakit? Yung working capital kasi affects cash flows, pero hindi taxes. While depreciable assets directly impact tax savings through depreciation. No, kaya ang main distinction sa kanilang dalawa is tax deductibility. Yung working capital, cash flows yan, kaya walang taxes. But not taxes yung naapektuhan niya. Pero yung depreciable asset, merong tax savings yan through depreciation. No? And letter dog, mali talaga. Hindi naman siya completely ignored in computing the amount. No? Actually nga, kinukonsider nga natin kung may recoupment ng working capital eh. Di ba? Hindi siya ini-ignore. Alright? Okay, so last theory question. Which statement is most correct concerning depreciation in a capital budgeting analysis? Depreciation is not a cash flow? Correct. No? Hindi po cash flow ang depreciation. Hindi niya naapektuhan yung non-cash expense siya. And does not affect the tax cash flow. Actually, somehow wrong. No? It actually affects the tax cash flow. Kasi may tax savings. May tax shield na tinatawag. Yung cat and dog, mali na silang dalawa. Sinabi ba naman na depreciation daw ay cash flow? Eh hindi naman yan cash flow eh. No? Kaya ang tamang sagot, letter B. Hindi siya cash flow, but it does affect the tax cash flow through tax savings. No? So tignan natin dyan. No money leaves the company when depreciation is recorded, kaya walang cash outflow. However, depreciation reduces taxable income. By lowering reported profits, it reduces the amount of taxes paid. Kaya, may epekto sa tax cash flow. It creates a tax shield which is a real cash flow benefit. Alright? May tax savings ka. No, so, dyan nagtatapos yung part 1 no, ng capital budgeting natin. Alam ko, medyo ano pa lang siya, medyo stepping stone pa lang. Nagsisimula ka pa lang. Baby step. Para hindi ka masyadong ma-overwhelm. No? Pero hayaan mo, pag nandun naman na tayo sa part 2 and part 3, for sure, maganda na yung foundation mo sa capital budgeting. Masimulan mo lang, maintindihan mo lang yung first part, I do believe na kayang-kaya mo na yung mga susunod na topics. No? So, dun lang guys no, ang nagtatapos ang video na to. Thank you, and subscribe lang. No? Kapag di pa kayo nakasubscribe, mag-subscribe lang tayo. No? So, bye-bye and good luck sa'yo, future CPA. Kayang-kaya mo to. Bye!